Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boys blues, 1975. Using girls on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long boys blues, 1975.
YouTube, Long Boys Post 1975. I apologise about the light in this room, but this is currently the coolest room in the house. I don't want to be one of those people who pisses and moans, but there's a reason I haven't been in front of the camera for a while, and that's because it's balls hot. It's like hottest summer temperatures in years, part like 8 to 80. Well, no, I don't do Fahrenheit. I'm British. 37 degrees hot. I don't want to put my fan on because it will interfere with this video, but I had to do this video because I found something that's interesting because I didn't even know it existed, and also its potential is fantastic. Obviously you know what it is because you've seen the title and possibly the thumbnail of this video. But anyway, yeah, so I apologise if I'm sweating like Hillary Clinton when someone attempts to restore her inbox, but it is balls hot. I understand that's not just here, that's most of Europe and North America. So yeah, I'm a whiner. I don't like, hot weather, what can I say? Anyway, I came across this in my travels, and it's called the SupaBoy S. It was in a second-hand electrical store in the high street, and I do not mean like a pawnbrokers, like cash generators or cash converters, and he only wanted 25 quid for it. And lots of people kind of get a little bit worried about buying second-hand goods in places that aren't known for their, decent guarantees or return policies, such as aforementioned places, generators and converters. But even when it comes to charity shops now, if you want to sell second-hand electrical goods in the high street, it has to be certified. And is it, I can't think what it is it PAC or PAC tested? It's one of those. You'll see something on the plug. Well, that was inside the box on this one. And yeah, so I saw it and I didn't know what it was. So I had to Google it. For someone who considers himself as much a retro gamer as me, that's pretty sad and pathetic. I'm fully aware of that. But I Googled it and went, wait, what? Are you telling me this is a handheld, portable Super Nintendo, or SNES, as we like to say in my neck of the woods, that accepts cartridges from multiple reasons and will output to a TV while allowing you to use it as its own console by plugging into exterior Super Nintendo pads? Well, I did not know that was a thing, but quite frankly, that is the most amazing thing I've ever heard of, and I'm on board, and I bought it immediately. Got to show you the box. The box is really nice. Now, a boring bit of history of what I could tell was, this is the second model. There are three. The first model was released in 2013, 2014. Had some issues, size. Its form factor is pretty much the same as this, but had some issues compatibility-wise and stuff like that. Then this is the second model, which improves the screen. The size of the screen is bigger. Apparently its compatibility ratio is a lot better as well, as is its battery life. The battery on life on this, according to the back of the box, is 10.5 hours. That remains to be seen. So I will, I've charged it fully. It was charged when I got it, to be fair, to some degree. I charged it fully, and so we do a kind of, play it by ear, before recharging it again, how long it lasts and its potential for how long it lasts. But that's amazing. Possibly they sort of retail for about 100 quid. This one has the sort of aesthetics of the North American Super Nintendo with the word purple and light purple colours and the indents on the buttons, which as a original Super Famicom owner, I'm not so much a fan of, but beggars can't be choosers. There is a third model, I think this one is 2017. There is a third model that's 2018, that is the SupaBoy SFC, meaning Super Famicom, and all I can tell is it's even better improved battery life, and the buttons don't have indents, and the aesthetic of it, colour of it, is completely and utter Super Famicom. So apart from the improvements of battery life and I guess compatibility, it's it's a Marmite thing, isn't it? So, as what you like your aesthetics. But anyway, there you can see the front of the box. It's a nice bulletproof box. It's got this really cool cut-off corner, which I really like, which apparently they do on all their stuff. Because who makes it again? Hyperkin. They make a lot of stuff apparently, but again, I've not really come across many of them. Do they make flash cartridges? Not really sure about that, but yeah, it's got all your specs on the front. So what does it say? It says 2-year warranty, which doesn't affect me, 4.3-inch LED screen, so its aspect ratio is correct on the screen, but not on the TV, and I believe on the third one, which is obsolete because I don't have that, or the third revision of this, you can hold down the brightness button and it will set it to 4.3. I can live with 16.9. It's not a deal breaker, but it says on the front 4.3-inch LED screen, NTSC to PAL switch. That is absolutely amazeballs, and another reason I had to buy, especially when I found out it outports to a TV. Then it says TV output, rechargeable lithium battery, SNES and Super Famicom compatibility, brightness button, and then it's got a really nice sort of Hayden's manual, that's the only descriptive term I can think of, diagram on the back, and lots of stuff basically just giving a little bit more detail to, you know, the claims on the front. Could show you more and talk about what it looks like, but let's show you the actual unit itself. Again, I do like this box. That's the box in itself with the unit sat in it. Some nice foam here. It's really well protected, and a tube here which contains contents. Contentio. Pouch, don't need that. Wrist strap already attached. Micro USB charge cable. That's right, it charges by micro USB, and AVM connection for your TV. So lots of people said, why isn't it, I can understand when it first came out, no, but now with the, you know, these minis and things like that, why is it not, you know, HDMI? But yeah, let's get the unit out and look at it. I really like it. Chunky, cartridge slot on the top there, then you've got your on-off there, your AV out there, reset, which brings you back to the previous game if you're playing a flash card. Oh, I spoiled the secret. PAL, NTSC there, and then there's your micro USB. Then on the bottom, you've got headphone jack, brightness, which doesn't go up, it has like 3 settings, which is a bit pants, and your volume rocker. And then you say you've got your aesthetics look like a North American SNES. This is what I really liked about it. This is what I mean. I have a mini SNES and it's hacked, but there is something just pleasing, you know, this form factor of it being the potential to carry it around and play. And I don't care what anyone says. Some people look at you and think, what the hell is that? You look sad. And anyone who knew what it was from your generation would look at it and just go, that's fucking cool. But yeah, I like the fact that you have the potential to use actual physical cartridges. That is something very pleasing to me. So yeah, maybe it won't emulate or look as nice as my my SNES Mini, but I like the fact that I can use real physical cartridges on that. That's a pleaser for me, and it allows me to build up a physical collection, and also the PAL and NTSC connectivity, and the fact that you can use it as a console on the floor with plugged in console cartridges. No, it's the heat, honestly. Joypads to allow you to play 2 players, so it's got full SNES functionality. I have heard that the screen isn't great, it's a bit washed out, and also plastic screen protector, not a massive fan of that, and I'm just putting a massive amount of fingerprints on it, I know that, but yeah. Button wise, I mean it's chunky, but it is not uncomfortable. There's a screw panel on the back that has a rechargeable battery, and what does it look like? I don't care, it recharges, that's all I'm happy about. But yeah, there's weight to it, but it's not too heavy. It's got a wrist strap, which to be fair I would never use anyway. I don't know why, I got little girly wrists. You got your shoulder buttons, the buttons and the D-pad, they feel really nice. Now I could turn it on, but there's no point because there's no game in it, and that's why I didn't make this video straight away, because as much as I had to have it, I didn't have any software to try it with, because I long since sold off all my Super Nintendo and Super Famicom stuff, mainly when I was recollecting my Japanese Mega Drive stuff back in the day, because it's expensive as it is now. It's hella, well, it was pretty expensive then. Not hella, I got it in the reverse order there, Dave. So I got some games. And a flash cartridge, and this, which is in a video for another time. There's no point in me doing this. It's a reproduction cart, a new one. It's a Joe and Mac trilogy cartridge, but that's for another video. So the first one I bought simply because I saw it at a charity shop, and yes, it's PAL, and I'm not a fan of PAL, anyone knows that. PAL F-Zero, but it was all I could get my hands on, like jumping on Tinterwebs to see what, you know, whether or not it worked, to be fair. Then I came across this in a charity shop today, which is Turn and Burn, and it's an NTSC one, and it was £1. I do like it when charity shops don't know what they're selling. And then this one, which is one of my favourite games when I had my Super Famicom, even though you could argue it's just a tech demo, was in said same charity shop for £1 as well. And I thought, I'm all over that. And then this, everything comes at once, showed up in the mail today. I ordered it not very long ago, and it came from Amazon UK, not China, and I was surprised to see that it came with an SD card in it, and it's a Super Everdrive China version, the best flash cards for SFC/SNES. And imagine my surprise, because I didn't think you could do this, because I shit you not, and it made my morning, to find out that it's got a complete UK and US game library on it. Yeah, it doesn't have the Japanese one on there, but I'm pretty sure there's plenty more room on an 8 gig SD card, and it was £29. So with all that loaded on shit, for me, that's an absolute bargain. I'm not really going to try and play it when I show you the screen, because the way I would capture with my phone and how I would have to hold it to play it viably means it's not going to look very good. But I'm going to put in, I will save the flash card for when because I'm going to connect it to the TV before I do my overview. But yeah, I'm going to put in the PAL game first. But so you set your region setting. The cartridge slot is nice and wide, and it accommodates all of the cartridges, apart from this one. But there's a workaround for that. But again, that's for another video. So you select your region, PAL, pants, put your cartridge in, facing you, nice and snug. There's going to be a shitload of fingerprints on the screen now, isn't there? I apologise. I'll use my Al Bundy shirt just for you guys. That's how important you are to me. Sorry, Al Bundy. Right, turn on the power. It says in the top right hand corner the region it is, and then it boots up. I don't know if it's going to show up, how it's going to show up, or if it's even going to work. Yeah, true story. I know before everyone shits themselves and loses their pants. What are you going to do? Now, booting up. There we go. It just adds to the authenticity. Can you see that? People complained about the screen. I'm finding the screen actually quite nice. There is no sort of demo mode on this. Dare I try and play it in reverse? No, we'll just select and get into the game. But yeah, I'm finding the screen really nice. Select your car. Now, the other good thing about this is, because most of the time when you emulate, unless it's on your Super Famicom or Super Famicom, your SNES Mini, the sound is always off. Very rarely, even some Pis don't get it right. The sound on this, as far as I can tell, is absolutely bang on, which is another reason I got it. Right, we're in the game. We'll just, yeah, you know what I'm doing. There we go. I think the screen looks awesome. I really do. So there you go. That works. Not the greatest way to demonstrate the game, but I'm demonstrating the screen. Obviously, I'm recording it on my phone. So it's not the best way to do stuff, is it? No, playing it backwards. Look at this. I think I'm going to have a seizure. So yeah, looks nice, runs really nice, sounds nice, but we'll get that better when it's on my TV. Let's try an NTSC game, which for all intents and purposes would be the same setting. You put it on with a Super Famicom game. So I do like that. Nice and snug, but not too much. Pilot wings. God, I really am sweating like a whore on holy ground in here. Right, so set it to NTSC. NTSC games in the wild and charity shops. That's kind of nice. Are you going to boot up? Yay, clean cartridge. So clearly, that works. Absolutely awesome sauce. I will try the flash card now. Like I said, I've looked at it and played it in this mode. So when I sit here looking like a twat showing it to the camera, I can confirm it plays fine in these modes. Right. Start and select. I forgot to mention there, top, right, left, right. I don't know, I'm sat on the opposite. Such a chilled experience. Tech demo or not, I really liked Pilot Wings. Right, let's see if a flash card works. Well, I know the flash card works, and like I said, naughty seller on Amazon, because it wasn't imported, but yeah, thank you for putting every single game on there, apart from the Japanese ones. He says, but it won't seem to go in. There we go. Right, you're probably not going to see the menu. I'm going to line it up first on here. Right, look, so your flash card works. Not the greatest way to show you. I am fully aware of that. But let's just do select game, any game. Right, we're in NTSC, so I better go to... See, look, you got it on there already. I know that's showing up. UK and US. So we better go to anything in US. Because I heard reports that this wasn't great with flash cards. Maybe it's whichever one you buy. But this seems to work fine for me. Family Feud. That's not show it off without. Fatal Fury Special. Right, so when you're on the screen with all your ROMs, you press start. You don't keep pressing forward like you would. Now, it should boot up. Not all of them do. The compatibility seems to be a bit iffish, or offish, or iffy combined with offy. Iffish. I'm going to keep that now. It's a word. Is it booted up? There should be a bar that comes on underneath. I mean, it's loading, what it does, and it's the same way it plays games, it loads the game's image from the cartridge into the memory of the system. So I guess that's why it's not, well, it is pretty much instant on the games. But with this, I guess it's keeping them all in memory. I don't know how flash cards work. But there you go, you can see it's booting up. It's not the quickest thing in the world. I've had dumps that go quicker than this, but I really like this system, you know, for all its faults, which we will get to in a moment, which is pretty much basically when you connect it to the TV. It's not, a deal ruiner, but yeah, like I said, component, no, it's AV. It's never going to be RGB, and also HDMI could be now, especially since the newest model is really not that old. But anyway, I'm rushing ahead of myself. We'll mention that when I show you and then I round up. Are you done yet, Fatal Fury? You're fatally slow. See what I did there? There you go. It's booted up, and I can assure you it plays fine. I've tried a few games, and out of all the ones I've tried so far, I've only had like one or two that just crashed it from the start and didn't work. So it's not like they did it when you were in it. But yeah, there you go. So let's go. Oh no, before I connect it to the TV, and if you switch the switch while it's live, it will just say, this game does not work in your region like it would normally do. Anyway, the accessories. Let's see what we've got in here, even though we know what we've got in here. Micro USB, which is always nice, although I've got loads of them. Your AV cables out. I mean, pretty much every machine I have that has that connection, got loads of those. That's nice. How often do you get that? Possibly because, I don't know, it's not a mainstream thing like Nintendo or Sony where they're just cheap. Let me just open it the other way. Your carry-all, which is just a magnet for dog hairs, your hairs, and any hairs. And yeah, your instructions, which is a tiny little basic instruction manual like that with, oh look, SupaBoy S and a hippo, because I don't know about you, but when I think about emulation and handheld portability, I think about hippos. Right, so before I round up, let's jump in and show you some of the games, just a few games. I'll show you the cartridges again so we can see on a big screen when I'm playing it, if they run full speed, and a couple of games, not too many, on the flash cart or the Everdrive, and then we'll round up. Right, so I've got it connected to my TV running down this AV cable, and so we're just going to go through the games that I showed you, even though I've got the multi-cart, or the multi-card, sorry, I've got the Everdrive, but I just want to go through the games that I got because I did initially buy them for this anyway. And yeah, so PAL mode, so I'm going to go for F0, which runs full screen on the actual unit, but when you go into it, you can see immediately two things. One, it's not full screen on this because it's PAL. Two, my god, are the colours washed out. I don't know, that's just because it's on AV. Look at the distortion in the zero as well. That's a really bad output TV. I mean, it's not going to ruin the experience completely, and also the big gaps at the top and the bottom make you realise, for those of you who didn't have an RGB console back in the day, I mean, it didn't bother me because I had a Super Famicom, which had to be RGB, but yeah, my god, the importance of running on RGB has become really, really apparent. Now, obviously, I don't know what I was expecting. This is where people mentioned they wanted an HDMI out on it, but I guess to keep the unit cheap, they didn't, but you can see that this is a really shit AV out. Right, let's go start. We'll give it a quick go. Grand Prix. Right. I cannot tell you what a mind blower this was back in the day. This was one of the launch games I had. Two of these games I'm going to show you were two of the launch games I had on my packed in games, I should say, I had on my Super Famicom, because I had this, I had Gradius, I had Super R-Type, I had Super Mario, I had Pilot Wings. I'm struggling to remember what else, but all I can say was, yeah, Final Fight. I was blessed when I got mine. Hey, I paid for it, mind. It cost a fair bit, but it wasn't one of those occasions where you had a launch. You had, well, one game would launch and you rinsed and repeated it. I had loads. These colours and this are really, really, really pants. I have fiddled around with the TV as well, which is a shame, because on the actual screen, I don't recall when I watched a couple of other videos just to learn some stuff about this system, other people saying they were this bad. I don't know if this is because I'm running it on my HD TV. Oh look, he jostled me in the air. Wanker. But yeah, the music's fantastic. That's one good thing about this, is lots of stuff cannot emulate the music. Because what it's doing is it's dumping the ROM from the cartridge into the memory. Right, that's enough of that. Let's turn that off. Sorry for the clunky noises. I'm doing it in real time. I might edit it, I might not. Meh. Another thing that's become apparent is the AV cable drops over the top of the cartridge. So if you're going to use this, put it into NTSC mode, if you're going to use this as a standalone console on the floor with two pads pulled into it, it's very snug as well. That could be interesting. Pilot wings, obviously NTSC now, full screen. I cannot tell you how much this impressed me back in the day. Lots of people, there's a special chip in it as well. It's not the 3D chip, is it? But there's a special chip in the cartridge. But yeah, people say it's a tech demo. I don't care. This thing blew my mind. I mean, it was flat pack 3D, but it was 3D that we'd never seen before. 2 objective score, and we'll go with this. In fact, it tech demo or not, I found it played like a game. I mean, obviously mine was in Japanese. That's still cool. I mean, if you remember the stuff that came before this and what we grew up on, and even Mega Drive stuff, which still was impressive, that's something else. I love that little noise. It goes woomph. Yeah, the colours of pants. Right. So one more look at something, then we'll jump in the flash cart. Which again, I can't believe came with all those games on it. I thought stuff like that was illegal if you were selling it through a major site like Amazon, not as a private seller. I don't know. I never played this back in the day. I just bought it because I looked at it and just went, oh, it's an airplane game when you're in inside the plane. Absolute. Don't be absolute shite. That is a bad image. The character with steam controls a red sector. You're a steaming red sector. I don't know what any of the controls are. Hold down button B and up simultaneously to increase thrust for takeoff. Well, that works. Oh, we are in the plane. Look at the little bloke. B. Is this going to be mode 7? Nah, surely not. There's a sprite scaler. That's cool. Mode 7. I'll shut up now. I'm still pleased to have this, and I'm still going to use this for doing gameplays on my telly, because I don't have access to a SNES that's not got busted sound and shit in the moment. Do I need to slow down? I don't know. Should I get a white stick? Oh. It is cool sound effects. Oh, look at that! Yeah, Top Gun and shit. I can't see it. Any I got a stick at the bomb. Any bogeys? There we go, there's a bogey. Right, let's bang in a flash cart, methinks. Wow, that's snug. That's what she said. All offerings on the flash cart will be dealt in NTSC. Start game, select game. Oh yeah, it's something interesting. I'm not going to show you it, but you can do it. By the way, that AV connection out, how close and snug it is to the cartridge is really an issue. If you load the game, but it's selected to the incorrect region, so you load an NTSC, no, not Russian, NTSC game, while it's set to PAL. When the game goes to start, it will say this is the wrong region or whatever, but the actual message it would be from the cartridge. So what you do then is, if you turn it to the correct region and then reset, when it comes back to this screen, the ROM's already in the memory, and then you just go to start game. I think that's really, really cool. Let's see if there's something in there. There you go, there's something in there. So when it dumps it, it's like your At Games HDMI Mega Drive. When it dumps it, it stays in there. That's kind of cool. My brother had this back in the day on his, what were they? Which something. I can't think of it, but you know, when you plugged a big fat thing on top and you could save games to floppy disk, allegedly, that does not look nice. Right. Thanks, Patrick Stewart. They're all based on Jim Lee's iconic. My God, 1991. Seems so long ago. How do we do Optic Blast? See, I'm not hearing any problems with the music, so correct me if it isn't doing it properly, but I read some terrible ways it does sound and music on emulation and stuff like that, and that goes with my Pi. Well, maybe that's because my Pi's in the Mega Drive case, and so it's just the snares throwing a hissy fit to be awkward. Right, okay. Reset. Reset's handy. Reset's on the top of the console. Select game. Loading might be a bit... shall I edit it? Shall I not? I don't know. I'll surprise you. It's a mystery. So look, at the top, this is just what came on the card. I don't think it's a complete actually, but it's got a shitload of games. We'll give Europe a miss because they're obviously PAL, but we've got USA, so we've got NTSC, and that's your save function, so I'm not sure how that works for editing purposes, but I guess I create extra folders for when I add on Super Famicom games, but let's go with S to T. Take a guess at what I'm looking for. Right, S. Do you have to press left or right to move forward? This isn't a review of this flashcard, I'm just getting used to it, so I'm speaking out loud. James Bond Jr., don't play that. I played that out of curiosity because I've never played it, and it's awful. As is Time Cop. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's Tournament Fighter. What button do you press to read it? Yeah, you press X. Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. See, that was optimised for PAL. I had that back in the day and then ran it on my Super Famicom with one of those converters where you had a cartridge you stick in one side and a cartridge you would stick in the other. Press start to load, which is a bit weird, and then it does this. So look, so it erases your previous one, which kind of makes sense, and then loads it, which is quite quick. I guess it comes down to the size of the ROM image, because some of them take absolutely friggin' ages. So, you know, all things considered, the graphics are fine. The way it exports the image could be a lot better. I would have liked an HDMI, but then, I mean, for cost, I can't really say that, can I? Because I paid 25 quid for this, but... See, that sounds correct to me. It's by no means unplayable, shit like that. It's just, it is. Maybe it's noticeable because when I do run this on emulation, I'm running it through a component cable on the Wii, or I'm running it through HDMI on a Pi. So to be fair, I might be over the top on it, and also the way I capture it is not going to do any sort of, you know, favours for you. But yeah. Even as a quick gameplay, obviously I got to be rash. I mean, why would you be anyone else? There she is, the world's biggest victim. Actually, her or Princess Peach, I'm not sure. Yeah, Big Apple. Yeah. I guess I could play around with my TV settings some more. I remember this Girls Away graphically. Obviously there was no port on the Mega Drive, it was Hyperstone Heist or Shredder's Revenge or something, I don't know. I played on the Japanese one, which looked like the arcade, had the arcade graphics, but it was just its own thing, even though they borrowed the stages. But why am I talking about that? This is about this. Yeah, this was amazing. And back in the day then, you didn't need to pre-order shit. Even though this now, it's like fucking hell, it's ridiculous money, doesn't it? Right, well you get the point. Let's have a look at one more game, maybe two more games. Right, back on. I wish it stayed in the same place. Again, that's the flash card, not the unit. Yes, I can't help but combine the video. You know, we were checking compatibility, convectionality. Thank you. Let's go into the supers. I can't think of any apart from Star Fox or Starwing in this country. Any games that are, there we go, super effects to see how that will work with this. But then, I mean, a not super effective chip, but hey, it did pilot wings and that had extra hardware. People didn't really seem to realise that for some reason. I didn't until, well, a couple of years ago. Erase flash. See this one? Oh. Okay, so the ones I tried earlier on must have been really big images. I would have thought Star Wars would be a big image. You're a big image. This was weird. When we played this back in the day, because you got to remember, Star Wars came in and out of popularity back then. Not stayed in vogue, well, kind of in vogue like it is now until Disney pissed on its chips. But yeah, we remember getting this and playing it, and it reintroduced our love of Star Wars. And so then went out and bought all VHS tapes again, at a point where they weren't generally considered to be that popular anymore. Seriously, it happened. That's amazing. See, look how bright it is. But what you can't see, well, you can. I'll get into the game. I just realised this, because on the screen, it doesn't turn the screen off when you play it. It looks absolutely lovely. When I get into it, long time in a galaxy far, far away, which somehow is yet in our future, that's cool. Oh, time before CD. Right. What's this? I do love the way it scales in and out. Right, pause. Look. That's what it looks like on the screen. I cannot get it to do that. That looks nice. Unpause, and it goes like this. But yeah, it plays absolutely perfectly fine. And this is a video about the SupaBoy S, Dave, not flashcards. Oh, memories come flying back. You see, we thought this one was hard. This one was doable. I completed this. Fucking Empire and Jedi, Jesus. Okay, so we're trying to replicate life, albeit in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, it plays amazingly, and the control panel on this is super tight, and the buttons are lush. Although I would prefer buttons that don't have indents, although apparently everyone who had a Super NES in North America prefers theirs to have indents. You know, it's a what you had thing. And just for the record, I am going to say, and I don't hate the boxy design of the North American SNES, but let's be honest, the Super Famicom and PAL designs look so much better. In fact, it's a shame that the PAL design looks so much better, but the innards of the box, the pants. But hey, I had Super Famicom, so I could say it looks better. Anyway, right, that was just a quick play around to show you. But yeah, all in all, everything on it plays fine. I just wish the visuals were a lot better. Anyway, let's round up. Because you'll remember this bit from the movie, don't we? So, overall thoughts. Do you know what? As you probably heard me, the screen is absolutely fantastic. For me, this thing only costing 25 quid makes my evaluation of the product completely different to what anyone else's would be if they paid full price, which as far as I can tell was £100, which even then, for its form factor, obviously I didn't get to test control pads, and the AV cable, I noticed when I plugged it into the TV, goes over the top of the cartridge. So if you're using it as a standalone console, you would have to be really careful, you know, with the length of the leash, not to get, like, you know, whip yourself up into a fucking butthurt frenzy when you're losing at Street Fighter 2 or something. So don't yank it, because I don't know how, you know, solid that cable is, and it is a key factor for me. But the screen quality, I've got plenty of mini micro systems that run on a AV cable out, and they don't look this bad. The colours look terrible all the time you're doing it. When you pause a game, as you could see me do then, the colours look like you would want them to look like. They looked a lot better. I had to fudge around with the brightness a lot to get them to look how I thought they would be considered, to me, acceptable. But they're washed out. They are not sharp at all. They don't make it unplayable. I didn't really notice any slowdown or stuff like that in the games I played, unless it was inherent within the actual cartridge. Do you know the ones we're looking at? Very early ones. R-Type, Gradius, I'm looking at you. But yeah, and obviously I'm playing out with you know, using the Everdrive, which is the functionality I'm really happy about, especially since I got that card with everything on it, apart from the Super Famicom ones with all that. But the controls are fine. The controls are absolutely brilliant, bang on the money. The music and sound effects, compared to other stuff I've used to emulate this in a hardware form, not including my SNES Mini, is absolute, as far as I can tell, whether that's everything, I've not played everything, it's absolutely bang on as well. It sounds absolutely fantastic. The volume levels are perfect. I really did like it. That's a very good point for it. So, do I recommend it? Do you know what? On playing it on the screen, playing it on the handheld system, compatibility, even before we, put in the Everdrive cart. I mean, I've just tried 2 regions, so maybe there are cartridges within those regions that don't work. But I think for what it is, which is an alternative to emulation and stuff like that, and gives you a standalone console, which is what really ticked my boxes when I found out about it, because I want to get some control pads and use it. It's cool. It gives you actual cartridge, you know, building up a library game collection. Yes, we got Everdrives. Yes, I got one, but the fact that you can actually build up a library collection, a physical library collection, and use it in a physical manner with pads and everything, I like that. I really do like the idea. I'm showing it like that because that's how we would use it. Like, it's a standalone SNES console. I really, really do like that. As I said, be careful with it. Don't know how good the build quality is. It feels really, really solid, but with your AV out being over the top of the cartridge and you like possibly pulling on pads, which would, I guess, damage those. I don't know. I've not gone there, but yeah, I really like it. As a handheld unit, it's absolutely fantastic. I don't know what people are complaining about the screen. I can live with a 16:9 stretched. I really can. I've always never really had a problem with that. I mean, I would like the purest option, but I've never really had a problem with that. But yeah, as you could see, the sharpness is appalling. We would expect that from AV. It doesn't ruin it completely, because think about the stuff we played on back in the day, and obviously running it on HD TV through AV does not help float its boat much. So the sharpness, yeah, and I don't know if it's the actual way this exports, because the screen looks fine, and how, like I said, when you pause it, it looks fine. But the colours just look so washed out and the sharpness is crap. But, and I'm putting this down for, and I'm pretty sure I can't be alone in picking this up, because everyone in every store now, you know, eBay's, Amazon's or Google searches what they're selling. But 25 quid, I'm all over this all day long. It's an absolute fantastic alternative to emulate, and also I said give you a hard physical, you know, use of cartridges. I really like that. Screen, brilliant. The output, doesn't ruin it. If it's all I had to play, you know, SNES games on, because it's got perfect sound, I'd be absolutely happy as a pig and shit with it. But if you're an absolute, you know, hardcore, you know, game player and stuff like that, likes to critique these things, you know, to the point of, you know, destroying their soul, you won't like that aspect of it. You really won't. Or maybe you own one and you do. I can live with it. It's acceptable. It could have been a hell of a lot better, especially if it was HDMI out. But I understand that that's keeping the system costs down and stuff like that. But yeah, I really like it. I really, really do like it, more so as a handheld unit. And obviously, the fact that I got a flash cart with all the games on it, just, you know, for ordering it and not knowing that, that's improved my opinion of it hugely, because it plays them all. So it's a good alternative to emulation out there in other so-called emulation devices, and possibly not a pie, although that depends on the sound issues. I would really, really recommend it. I'd recommend it to probably going up to 50 quid. Anyway, before this video gets completely out of hand and I melt, because it's Betty Swallocks as hell now, I'd love to know what you think, especially if you own one. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.